When we speak about climate change and natural systems in particular, I think we have to remember the geopolitical situation of the Mediterranean or the EU. And I think there's a continuum of accountability from north to south, if you will, and perhaps a lot of citizens are disenfranchised and frustrated by the politicians, but in the southern EU, for instance, versus the northern EU, but they also have to remember that outside of the EU, this accountability is almost non-existent, and the fact that there is a system within the EU to increase the accountability of politicians to what the citizens want, I think it's a great opportunity, and citizens should use that opportunity to basically voice their concerns and put the priorities on the table and move in the direction that they want to move, using the politicians as their vehicle, as their tool. In other countries around the world, as I mentioned, that system simply doesn't exist, and so you could be frustrated with the system because it's not working very well. But if you have a framework, at least you can try to improve that framework. And I work in a variety of countries. Some of them are developed, some of them are developing. What I see is the voice of the people can be quite strong once they're really galvanized and they're really motivated. And also once they have the relevant information and the relevant tools. And again, if we go back to the example that I mentioned before, which is natural systems and climate change, when citizens, local communities, local managers understand that it's really important to manage and protect these systems from activities and impacts, they can galvanize to really protect their own resources because they own these resources, and somehow that can be upscaled because a number of different communities over the coast or over a large area then become really interested and galvanized. Once that happens, politicians cannot ignore the movement because it's a movement of people who are quite interested and own the resources that they're trying to manage for the future, for their own well-being. And so, again, working within this framework of increasing accountability, once politicians see that there is the knowledge with the people, there is the will with the people, and there is the mobilization within the community, then they cannot ignore that movement.